If there's something that has been bothering you since a long time, something that does not seem to go away no matter how hard you try, I think you should try therapy. And in these times when going out is not your best option, then remote therapy from highly qualified and experienced clinical psychologists is what you need. Log on to www.mentep.com and start your journey towards a better headspace today. Again, that is www.mentep.com. Start your journey towards a better headspace.
So I ask myself, if I do it today, what changes? And if I don't do it today or right now, will my future self be thankful of me or be regretful of me? Even if you have smallest of tasks, put it on your calendar.
Whenever I think that way of life that I'm living, this might be better than everyone else's.
Yeah.
I consciously switch over. I consciously see how other people live.
Yeah.
And I consciously tell myself that कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. If they're also living, you're also living.
कुछ नहीं.
काफी क्लीन सा, तो उससे काफी सही हो जाता है. तो welcome to Sit with Sid, Mr.
Thank
Priyank
you.
Agarwal. Thank you for being here. And you are one of those friends which I didn't know that I needed, but I found.
Oh, great. Thank you.
And I mean, yeah, tell us about yourself.
Sure. So, my name is Priyank, as you've mentioned. I am an entrepreneur plus a software engineer. So, during my childhood days, I wanted to be a pilot. I realized there's not a lot of jobs, etc., etc. So, I didn't go and do that. And then I went to do engineering basically to Pune, and there I first heard the word startup and entrepreneurs and all of this, right? So while in college itself, I started a company. So we started making games, mobile games. This is 2013 I'm talking about. I made one mobile game along with two of my college friends who I kind of pushed to work with me. And then we made a game, we launched it. Obviously, it didn't do well. We got 600 downloads.
Wow. So what was किस बारे में था?
It was a endless runner game basically.
Temple Run.
Kind of, you can say. So in that, there were aliens that you have to escape from. You are on a spaceship, and your spaceship keeps on going, and you don't have to hit the aliens, like you have to escape them. And then there are rocks and stones and all of that, right?
So that was like a fun.
It's just and we had made it very lo-fi, so it was a 8-bit style box kind of a game, not a very high graphic game. There are two reasons of that. One, because we couldn't make that. We didn't have that skill. We could have, but it would have taken a lot of time, right? So we decided that we'll keep it old school and let's just roll out something. And right decision in hindsight, it only got 600 downloads. So yeah, so I did that, learned a lot about building stuff, this and that, about failures, handling failures, a few days of depression, I'd say.
First, that would be like sadness, grief. Like,
not really depression, as I said, a few days, lasted a few days. So uske baad I made another game, and then I did a few freelance projects. So there was this guy in South Africa. He wanted to automate his business. He had a hardware business, but he had multiple stores, like 10-15 stores. So uske liye we made a software for that to automate all his purchase, invoice, etc., etc. So that went well. Then in my final year, I got a scholarship from Google to learn advanced Android development. So there are like 3 lakh students kind of applied to that scholarship, and 1,000 people got it.
Wow.
All across India. So that was a 1 lakh rupee scholarship for a course, and then I did that course, and then I graduated in 2016. So I had a failed startup. I had a degree which was giving me almost 40k salary per month in a medium stage company. I also had an offer from L&T but that offer was much lesser, right? 20,000 per month. And then I was very clear that I want to work at startups, okay, because I had failed at building one, so I wanted to learn. Like, it made me more curious that I want to crack this code, right? So that's what made me curious, and I was searching about startups online, etc. And there therefore I found social helpouts. So Cutshort was earlier called Social Helpouts. We rebranded it to call, because Social Helpouts sounded like more like an NGO.
What is
than-
Cutshort?
So Cutshort is basically a AI based startup. We use machine learning, SaaS products, etc. to solve inefficiencies in recruitment. So
Like for the listeners, SaaS means service as a like
software as a service. Yeah. So in other words, it's just a website that you pay for.
Exactly.
Simply.
Yeah.
Right. In simple layman's
But
terms.
inefficiencies in recruitment. What do you mean by that?
Right. So today, if you're a recruiter at Amazon, you get like 9,000 resumes a day for one particular role. Right. So how do you, as a recruiter, how do you go through 9,000 resumes, right? And at that time, this is 2016, I'm talking about, artificial intelligence was in its kind of, won't say early stage, but the adoption, like utility adoption was early stage at that time. Right. So we thought, like, can we use artificial intelligence to solve this problem? Okay. And that's what we did. We use machine learning algorithms, etc. Which what it does is it converts a resumes to text and then does NLP on top of it, natural language processing, NLP, which basically makes sense out of text. Okay. And then we ran algorithms on top of it to give it data as to which HR is liking which kind of profiles. And then it would try to figure out a match percent. So if there are 9,000 resumes, it will find a match percent for every resume and it will sort them by the most relevant people. So as an HR, all my time for those viewing those 9,000 resumes gets almost to zero. And then you have a sorted list of preferred candidates. You go to top 50, top 100, you find your first person that you need.
So is it's still working now?
Yeah. It's still working. There are 1 million users that are registered on Cutshort, and there are 13,000 odd companies that have used our product to hire people.
Wow.
And yeah, it's revenue. It's a revenue making company. We're close to doing a 1 million run rate this year.
Great. So you
$1 million.
Yeah. So you're what's your role there?
So I joined as a junior engineer. Okay, funny story. And then so I was the second hire in the team. There was two founders, one marketer who's the first hire, and then I was there. The first marketer kind of left in 4 or 5 months. Then I was there, and I took up all the like responsibilities for the tech side of it, right? Mainly backend development, server scaling, algorithms, ensuring everything is working, etc. And then slowly I also took up a few growth oriented roles, like marketing roles, not exactly social media marketing, I'd say, but running growth hacks, collecting data, and then taking action on that data to get users, etc. Doing campaigns, etc. So I did a bunch of that as well, and obviously led a team. All these, like, this was 4.5 years I'm talking about, right? It's a long time. So we built a team around us, and it's good. Cutshort today has 25 people, I think.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, when I left, there were 18, I guess.
When you left?
Yeah.
I mean, so you left Cutshort?
Yeah, I left Cutshort last year in November.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cutshort. So tell me this. When you joined Cutshort, at what stage was it? Was it just as an idea?
Very early stage, like 6-month-old company with, I think, 7,000-8,000 users, half decent website. It wasn't even using machine learning back then. It was just a simple recruitment website at that time. And then we kind of went through this natural evolution of listening to our customers, what their problems are, what they would pay for, and then solving those.
So when you joined Cutshort, like you were the second hire, right? And then your contemporary for the first hire left थोड़े time बाद.
4 महीने में.
What made you continue there? What made you work? What made you like take up responsibility? Because I don't think उस समय monetary कुछ उतना benefit as a engineer मिल रहा होगा.
Yeah. So in fact, I was foregoing 50% of my salary. Like I would have gotten 40,000 at that mid-sized company that gave me an offer, and I was taking only 20,000 salary here. Plus, I was taking shares, ESOPs. So that was one motivation, that if this company grows, then my shares will be worth crores, right? That's one motivation. The other motivation for me was, I was young. I was 21. I had a bachelor's degree. The option in front of me was take a 40,000 paying job, versus take a 20,000 paying job, but that is aligned to your long-term dreams of building a company. You get to learn how to build a company from scratch, right? And see it through, right? So that was the second part. And third part was go and spend 15 lakh rupees, do an MBA. So I said the first path is not worth taking for me, right? I come from a decent, a middle class, upper middle class family, I'd say, which has a business profile. So I can always go back and join my father's business. That's one thing. The second thing was follow your dreams or do an MBA. So what I kind of talked about with a couple of people was, is doing an MBA better or joining an early stage startup and living through those first 4 years and see that raw journey of failures and learnings, and how do a company evolve, how to hire people, how to fire people. That's super difficult to do, and so on and so forth. So I took this path because, I mean, one was that I basically, honestly, when I joined Cutshot, I was like, I'll do this for 2 years. I learn and I think my MBA is done, and then I'm off to do whatever I want. But after 2 years, I realized, oh, the company is doing good. Why not just stay and keep collecting those shares? And while I was having fun anyways doing that, I used to enjoy it. So I kept continuing.
So so what do you do now? Abhi kya karte?
So abhi I'm doing a engineering job at railz.ai, which is a Canada headquartered company, but it's a globally distributed team. There are people in Europe, there are people in India, only 2 people in India, including me, and bunch of people in Canada, a few in US.
That's a startup as well, or is that
Yeah, it's a startup. So Railz started last year in May. I joined it in November. Again, a 5-month-old company, a beta launched product. And what Railz is trying to do is it's trying to organize world's financial data and make them available using APIs. Okay, so if you are a SMB business, your data, some of your data is in Excel files, some of your data is in your bank statement, some of your data is in your accounting software, Tally maybe, right, or any other such service. There are thousands of those. So what we do is we collect all that data, sync all that data to our systems, we normalize that data for deduplication, for fraud checks, etc., and then we make a final draft of your entire data, your balance sheets, your trial balance, your transactions, your bank statements, etc., and then give you a better picture of your own financial data as a business. And the last step of that, there are 2 more steps of that, one which we've not done yet, and the other step is you can give access to banks to access that data. So when you go to bank and say, I want a loan, this is my business, the bank wants your financial data, right? So what Railz will do is, Railz will partner with the bank, do a tie-up, and then you just go to the bank and say, okay, check my Railz account. That's it. And the process that takes 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and tons of paperwork will be in seconds using just like you say, login with Google, login with Facebook, right? Connect to Railz and you're done.
So it's like जितने भी मेरे फाइनेंशियल जहाँ भी जितनी जगह पे भी हैं,
Exactly.
सबको एक जगह एक पेपर पे लाके रख दिया.
हाँ.
देख लो भैया कितना कहाँ खर्चा,
Exactly.
कहाँ हो सकता है,
सारा बैलेंस शीट, एसेट्स, लायबिलिटीज, etc. बट अभी ये हम सिर्फ SMB businesses के लिए कर रहे हैं.
SMB businesses मतलब
small and medium businesses in US right now. And slowly we'll grow to enterprise businesses, etc., and then maybe out of US as well. Slowly. Because we're hardly a 1-year-old company, right? So
मतलब obviously like to collect all that data, तो उतना डेटा उठाना,
हाँ, डेटा उठाना भी पड़ेगा. एंड यू हैव टू, क्या होता है कि फाइनेंशियल डेटा का कोई स्टैंडर्ड नहीं है. ठीक है, किसी का डेटा टैली में, किसी का डेटा एक्सेल शीट में, किसी का डेटा जीरो करके अकाउंटिंग सॉफ्टवेयर सर्विस होता है वहाँ पर है, किसी का क्विक बुक्स में होता है, किसी का हज़ारों है, राइट, फ्रेश बुक्स, क्विक बुक्स, etc. So we have to build connectors for each of these services, because each of these services store your data differently, right?
Wow.
So we have to connect to all of these services, keep getting your data on recurring basis, on daily basis, and then normalize also. So it takes time to build that critical software.
Are you building this on blockchain?
No.
Or you plan to do that?
Not right now. Blockchain is not really needed for this, because it's a trusted ecosystem. Blockchain is needed for a non-trusted ecosystem. Okay, where there is trust deficit, there you need blockchain. Where there is like where the bank is ready to trust you, you don't really need it. So haven't done it yet. Maybe in future, you never know.
How does your day go like?
So I wake up early, 8ish, right? Then I try to exercise, which has been difficult because of the lockdown recently. But otherwise, earlier I used to go cycling or jogging. Morning, I don't do a lot of it. I only like time box it to 20-30 minutes max, because that's what I need. I'm not a bodybuilder kind of a person, right? So I don't need that. So 20-30 minutes there. Then I would come back, have my breakfast, get ready, shower, etc., and then I go for my meetings, etc. So usually I have a morning meeting with my VP of engineering around 10:30, and then I for that can go for 15 minutes to all the way to 1.5 hours, right? So after that, I am off to my work speed, do whatever I want for the entire until 9 p.m. So I usually what I do is I allocate around 4 to 5 hours of actual coding time for my job. That's a calendar slot I have always, pretty much every day. So, but I keep juggling it. I might do it. I might start it at 11 a.m. or I might start it at 4 p.m. Right? And the other 4-5 hour slot is for me as an individual to read something, to learn something, or to do my experiments, if any. So I use that, and sometimes you have a lot more work, so you adjust accordingly. Sometimes you have less work, so that happens. And then obviously your normal routine of lunch, breakfast, etc. And during the evening, if I have not gone for an exercise in the morning, I go for it in the evening, around 6:37. So that happens. And then 9 o'clock I have daily stand-up calls, which is like our entire team meets and gives updates to each other, basically, of what has been accomplished, what is next, any blockers, etc. And if there are any detailed meetings needed, that kind of follow up after that. And then I have my dinner, I watch something on my phone, social media as usual. That's pretty much a normal traditional day for me.
No, like why I asked you this was because as we जैसे हम बात कर रहे थे, we are quite productive.
हाँ.
तो कैसे होता है? How do you be productive? मतलब क्योंकि बहुत लोग जो देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे, if they're listening till now, 16 मिनट हो गए. But if they're listening till now, तो like productivity की problem बहुत लोगों को होती है. How do you stay productive?
So I have a bunch of. So I've read a book. If any of you guys read books, one is Atomic Habits, is a great book.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Life changer for me, at least, very honestly put. That's one thing. The other thing is there are a few rules that I follow. One is I have to get 20 minutes of minimum exercise a day. Okay, and it can be in any form. I could go and play badminton. I could go and just walk for, let's say, 30-35 odd minutes, or go for a 15-minute jog, or anything, or cycling for 40 minutes or something, right? Some form of exercise any time of the day. I usually try to fix my time, but it's not really possible with a fast moving life, right? So I try to get it early in the day. However, if not, then in the evening, and also depends on the weather. So summers the time changes, winter the time changes. So exercise is one thing. The multiple reasons that keeps you active. So during the day, if you might have noticed, you're just continuously scrolling through your phone mindlessly, right? That reduces a lot if you're actually exercising, because your brain is active, right? When you're continuously scrolling through your social media feed, it gives you what's this called? Dopamine, exactly. So it keeps giving you dopamine hits, and you keep getting addicted to it. However, exercise is opposite of it.
Yeah.
Right? So it reduces your dopamine dependency of sorts.
You know what I've noticed is कि मतलब जैसे मैं भी when I'm scrolling, I'm not usually scrolling on my table या on my bed.
Yeah.
मतलब I have this habit of walking.
Okay.
So
that's nice.
I generally tend to like scroll while walking only. तो उससे like I think you get more थोड़ा और mindful हो जाता है इंसान.
Yeah.
कि what have you been doing, क्योंकि आसपास का environment भी change हो रहा होता है, तो you are in touch with just not, क्योंकि वहाँ पे अगर आप घर में कमरे में बैठे हो, बस वो स्क्रॉल कर रहे हैं, वही दुनिया.
हाँ, exactly. कुछ और मूव नहीं हो रहा है,
मूव नहीं हो रहा बाहर.
ये अच्छा आइडिया। वैसे मैं तो बेड पे ही या चेयर पे मोस्टली।
मैं यूजुअली जब चेयर पे बैठता हूँ तो मेरे सामने लैपटॉप खुल जाता है तो उस पर फिर मैं कुछ और करना हो या फिर मैं कुछ देखता हूँ या गाने सुनने लगता हूँ। बट अगर ऐसा स्क्रॉल करना हो तो मैं यूजुअली मतलब मैं बस ट्राई करता हूँ कि आई वॉक अलॉट, मतलब थोड़ा अभी आई एम ऑल्सो ट्राइंग टू रिड्यूस वेट, बट तो आई ट्राई एंड वॉक अलॉट। मतलब मेरी पहली बहुत आदत थी, फिर थोड़ा बीच में कम हुई, आई एम ट्राइंग टू गेट इट बैक। तो आई एम लाइक व्हेनेवर आई एम नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग, व्हेनेवर आई कैन वॉक आई विल वॉक।
सही है। I have that, and especially this lockdown has, messed up the schedule and habits and etc.
मतलब मैं तो जिससे पहले भी लॉकडाउन किया होता, मैं साइंस स्टूडेंट था 11th 12th में, तो मेरा वो भी लॉकडाउन ही था। बट हाँ, आई थिंक एक्सरसाइज plays a role. I mean, if you're eating correctly, if you're exercising any form of exercise, so I think there's just वो health aspect आता है, physical health थोड़ी better होने लगती है, तो वो एक hurdle cross हो जाता है। But उसके बाद क्या?
So exercise, and you mentioned a good point of eating. So although मैं बहुत ज़्यादा conscious नहीं हूँ अपने eating habits के लिए as compared to like my peers etc. But I try to cut down on sugar. And it's been almost 1 year. I've like reduced 95% of my sugar intake. Like sweets, be it sweets, cakes, etc. And yeah, so it has done two things to me that I've noticed at least. Is one, I am more alert. Like just like I've had caffeine, like that kind of alert throughout the day, which eventually increases your decision making abilities, increases your reduces lethargy, so you're more active, you're getting more things done. So that is one important thing that I've seen with food habits. Another thing is eating green, although I am bad at it. I'm very bad at it. Although I'd like to improve that in future sometime. So that's one. The third thing is using calendars a lot. So and this is a very eye-opening thing that I've just only practiced for like 6 months, I think, is even if you have smallest of tasks, put it on your calendar, put it as an event on your calendar, be it 15 minutes, be it 30 minutes, whatever, on the walk, you're on the fly, just put it on your calendar, be it anything, right? And then what happens is it does two things. One is it gives you a reminder. Two is it puts an external pressure. It's a weird external pressure. Nobody is watching you. It's you who've created the event. It's you who's watching the event. Right?
Phone पे notification है,
कुछ है नहीं. But it puts a weird mental pressure. Oh, I have to get this done. Right? And that kind of, this. Even if you've read Atomic Habit, James Clear talks about making the decision of doing something is bigger than actually doing the thing. Okay, so if I have to wash my laundry, for example, right, like the decision of when to do it is far more critical than actually doing it. Right? If once you start, then you'll end it anyway. Right? You won't leave it half.
Yeah, it's all based on momentum. Like it's like telling yourself yes and then doing the yes.
Yes.
Telling yourself no and then following the no.
Yeah, exactly.
Because मतलब कभी भी मुझे भी ऐसा होता है ना कि I want to eat sugar, मतलब या ऐसा कुछ कि अब मैं और कम करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, तो मेरे दिमाग में हमेशा यही आता है कि you told yourself no, now follow the no. This is the time to follow the no.
Right, exactly. And so in what I was saying, calendar, yes. So in calendar, that is an external trigger, plus it gives you a time bounding also. So what happens is when you look at your calendar, you see, okay, I have 4 tasks, but there is 2 hours in between. Damn, what do I do? Why am I wasting my 2 hours? That question triggers your own self, and then you try to remember, what can I do? Instead of, because if it is not on your calendar, if it is not visible to you, you'll end up doing something. You might turn on the TV, watch something, you might be scrolling through your feed and you find a really good comic video or something, right? And you spend your 40 odd minutes on that without actually consciously making a decision that I want to spend 40 minutes on this. Right? So the calendar forces that time accountability on you indirectly. So that's a very amazing trick. I recommend it to everyone because it's easier also. saying that you should exercise every day it sounds very boring. But when also this is like classic advice and your brain is already blocked to these kind of advice, right? करना है, exactly. So people are normally blocked to that, but calendar is something that is new, so people want to try it, and it works.
It's new. It's like putting something on yourself, as you said.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not like कोई देख रहा है वो, क्योंकि जो काम सेल्फ खुद से खुद को दिया हुआ होता है ना, वो इंसान करता है अच्छे से. मतलब like that's also something that I've noticed. पिछले 2 महीने में मेरा कॉलेज तो बंद था, तो a lot of my peers have been doing internships. I've been doing my stuff and internships that I want to do, I know how to do. मतलब मेरे साथ क्या, even the internships that I'm doing, I'm not doing it at corporates or companies. I'm doing it with creators.
Right.
तो उनके साथ काम बहुत flexible होता है.
हाँ, वो तो आप जब अपने स्पीड पे अपने टाइम पे.
तो it's like मैंने खुद को ये काम दिया है. मैंने खुद इस इंटर्नशिप के लिए अप्लाई किया, मैंने खुद उसको बढ़िया से मेल लिखती हो जाता है कि मुझे काम पे रख लो. तो अब ये काम मैंने खुद को दिया है. मैंने पॉडकास्ट रिकॉर्ड एडिट करने का काम खुद से दिया है. मैंने वेबसाइट सब कुछ करने का काम खुद ही से दिया है. तो I'm better off doing it, right?
Yeah.
So because like that's like life. Your life works on momentum.
Yeah.
और इतने momentum पे जब इंसान आ जाता है, so even people ask me कि how do you stay, motivated or driven? I'm like, it's more of discipline and momentum right now. अगर ऐसे चल रहा है.
It's more also intrinsic, It's more intrinsic than some other reason.
कॉलेज के काम से ज़्यादा intrinsic होता है. बट एक जो प्रॉब्लम बहुत लोग फेस करते हैं, इंक्लूडिंग मी, प्रॉब्लम ऑफ प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन. हाउ डू यू सॉल्व दैट?
So honestly, I'm not the best person for this to answer this. Is one thing. So everybody is flawed and all of that, right? However, one is this calendar trick. The other trick I use and I talk to myself is the past self and the future self. Okay, so this is a very good trick to brainwash your own self. Okay, so if I have to do something, let's say exercise, okay, or any other thing, let's say completing a college assignment for that example. So I ask myself, if I do it today, what changes? And if I don't do it today or right now, what changes? Okay, plus will my future self be thankful of me or be regretful of me? Even if you have smallest of tasks, put it on your calendar. Put it as an event on your calendar. Be it 15 minutes, be it 30 minutes, whatever, right? So if I do it today, my future self will be thankful of me that, oh, great Priyank of the past, you've done a great job. I now have more time. I don't have a deadline on my head for today, right? So talking to your future self and past self, doing a favor to your future self by doing it right now. And when you're in the future, when you actually like have a deadline but you've already done it and your friends are like going mad, just take a moment and thank your past self that, oh great Priyank, you did this, I'm free right now, I can go out on a date right now.
Wow, that's
right. So this is one thing that has helped me a lot, because a lot of times what happens is calendar में आप event तो डाल देते हो but आपने heavy lunch किया है. Right, and now you're in that sleep mode. Maybe it's a Saturday, Sunday, or a lazy day for that matter.
आजकल तो लॉकडाउन की वजह से दोपहर में नींद आने लगती है.
हाँ, और वो आप घर के बाहर नहीं जा रहे हो, and so there is no start or end to your day. Right, वो
सो रहे हैं, कभी
rhythm टूट चुकी है. Exactly, there's no differentiation of day.
8 बजे ब्रेकफास्ट हो रहा है कि 10 बजे
exactly. तो ये और ज़्यादा important हो जाता है. So this future and past thing, I think I read it on Twitter somewhere, and then I used it, and it was really magical. And you have more satisfaction also, by the way.
Like
it gives you more.
If you're going to thank your
past self, you feel more. It's more oxytocin, and it's more better.
Yeah, it's better. I'm gonna try that. I think I need that right now.
Yeah, and another thing, one last thing that I use in productivity is called Incremental Days, which basically is a derived version of Atomic Habits lesson, which basically says if you have a big goal, break it into pieces and do a little bit of it every day. Make it a habit. Okay, so when people say I want to lose 10 kgs, I want to lose 12 kgs, right? It's not easy. you know that, everybody knows that. But if you say, I want to only lose 20 grams or 30 grams every damn day without fail, right? And then you make it a habit that you are burning XYZ number of calories every single day. So for example, me, I've lost 8 kgs of weight over 1.5 years, which is extremely slow. But I am confident that I'll be able to maintain this weight. A lot of people lose weight very fast and regain it twice as fast, right? That's not good, because eventually it's squared off, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's squared off.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't matter. So doing smaller bits but more frequently is better.
Yeah,
and
I get it. I completely agree. और मैं समझता हूँ ना, क्योंकि it's like building a long-term habit for yourself. It's for every habit.
Yes.
चाहे वो it's like चाहे वो तुम्हारा काम करना हो गया. It's like getting stuff done. अब वो stuff में तुम कॉलेज असाइनमेंट डाल दो, तुम अपने स्टार्टअप का, एक्सपेरिमेंट का, खुद का, इंटर्नशिप का, कुछ भी काम
करो.
That's just a habit of getting things done.
Yes. Like
दूसरी habit है picking things that you like.
हाँ.
So that you are not saying कि I don't even like this. I don't even like anything that I do in a day. तो चलो दिन में एक चीज ऐसी करो जो तुम्हें पसंद है, फिर दूसरी करना, फिर तीसरी करना, ऐसे करके धीरे-धीरे करना. तो मतलब something that I've realized is now, I only do the things that I like.
Yeah, that's
I don't do anything which I don't like.
That's actually a mistake I made for years. Right? Prioritizing what others think is correct was a mistake I did for many years, I would say. Especially through my teenage, right? Most of this imposter syndrome and all that stuff, right? So I totally agree with you on that. Like, and another reason of that is our society does not embrace people who are alone, who talk to themselves, right? People think ये पागल है, but नहीं, वो पागल नहीं है, वो अपने आप से बात कर रहा है अगर, तो it's not that bad. And I practice this a lot. A lot of times I go on random walks alone, purposefully alone, so that I can talk to myself. That is very and what it does it's more like your parents teacher meeting day. Okay, it's like your review day. What have I done in the last 7 days or last 10 days or 1 month, and am I proud of it? Am I happy with it? What can I change to become better? What am I liking more? What am I not liking more? So I can change, do more.
How is that? मैं नहीं कर पाता. Like I don't sit with myself a lot.
This happens, and the problem is our society is not acceptable of it.
I don't care about this.
Same here.
I'm going to do my shit, जो भी करना. How has that affected you?
It has done wonders. It has done wonders. Like I don't have a cadence of it. कि करना ही है, 7 दिन में करना है वगैरह. But it has become a habit for like I think काफी साल हो चुके हैं यार. Like I think hostel days में we used to do this daily. Like our warden, he used to tell us like when you go to bed, you should talk to yourself and ask yourself what did you do during the day. It does a couple of things. One, it retains your, like you'll retain more stuff in your brain because it's a recall, right? So एक तरीके से याद आएगा आपको कि आपने ये पढ़ा था, okay, right? Something like that. So that is one thing. The other thing is you'll realize your own mistakes, right? So and you do less of that. So for example, you got into a fight. For example, for some reason, right? You're not happy, something happened. But when you go back and look at it, you realize if at all it was your mistake, you realize where. And then the next time it happens, your brain subconsciously stops you from doing that. So you reduce your mistakes over time. You become lesser angrier. So I have had anger issues like 10-ish years back, 5-10 years. I used to be very angry person, silly things, and I just start shouting, right? But now I don't even remember last time I've shouted. So, and this is because of talking to yourself, solitude, and all of this.
Yeah, I think I would need that. Because मैं ना जैसे मेरी आजकल what I've noticed, my diet has become very information heavy. It's like I'm always consuming
information.
Yeah. So I try to reduce that by songs. मैं गाने सुनने लगता हूँ. तो वो चीज़ें है कि लाइक दैट हेल्प्स. बट हाँ एक चीज़ होती है बिकॉज एक तो वो भी होता है ना कि यू लाइक कंज्यूमिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन बिकॉज that's what I do. That's what I do. यहाँ पे
Yeah,
भी.
exactly.
So it's that for me. Also, it's fun. It's fun. I mean,
Definitely.
once you like something, once you are nerdy for something, it can be a
Yeah.
Netflix show or it can be a lecture series. It doesn't really matter. So
one thing I've tried on that part is turn off your notifications.
Notifications off.
Then it solves a lot of it because notification is that trigger that you want to break.
I mean, yeah, so that's like my first step towards like owning my digital, whatever it could be, my digital presence. Right. I would go to Instagram whenever I want to.
Exactly.
Like whole day now, but still. मैं जब चाहूँगा तब जाऊँगा Instagram पे, मैं तब चाहूँगा तब जाऊँगा WhatsApp पे, तुम लेके नहीं आओगे. I've done that with my phone as well. मेरा phone भी silent पे रहता है.
हाँ, phone तो मेरा भी silent पे रहता है, but my work is like sitting on computer, तो वो बाजू में ही रहता है, phone तो दिख जाता है.
मेरी पास में रहता है.
But notification off is a really good trick. Like मैंने, and especially I did it when this first wave of corona happened, right? It was unexpected and unheard of, worst like movies coming through, right? So it was very negative. Throughout the day you're stuck at your home, you don't have a lot of space either, so you will obviously feel negative. So therefore I then turned off all my notifications. There's a app I used, Filterbox. It's a paid app. You pay only 400-300 rupees once for a lifetime, this thing. So I'm like, cool, fine. I'm okay with it. So I took a trial of that. It was very effective, so I got it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, वही ना कि with information, any kind of information, अगर तुम पे फेंकी जा रही है ऐसे, तो you don't like. Even my Instagram, I've Instagram, Twitter, मैं सब curate करके रखता हूँ. My Instagram is all either I'm just seeing people who I like want to see, my friends and all, or I'm just having fun looking at memes and stuff.
Interestingly, there is one TED talk about how what you see on social or what you react to on social becomes an echo chamber, because the algorithms are made in a way that they show you the things that you like. So if you keep liking one political ideology, right, let's say you prefer, for example, you prefer Modi ji or you prefer Congress, example, and you like you do actions by commenting or by liking those things, the algorithms will attach weights to them that this guy is interested in this topic. The algorithm doesn't care what that is, but the algorithm, all it cares is that you like that topic, okay, and therefore it will show you more of that topic, and you'll again obviously like it again, right? You're human, you're not thinking about it, so you keep liking that and you get more of it. So the feed that you have eventually over time, let's say you do this for 6 months, after 6 months whatever you're seeing on the feed is driven by algorithms, and whatever the content is drives you as a person, drives your thoughts, your mood, right? Positive, negative, or be it your intent, for example, right? A lot of people kind of like on Twitter, I follow a lot of people who are kind of productivity geeks, kind of, so as to say. So what they do is they delete their social media accounts and then they recreate a new account to get rid of their past likes, biased stuff, etc.
I think that's an overkill.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on.
What I do is whenever I see myself thinking about a particular thing too much, whenever I see myself maybe, I think that's this echo chamber thing that applies to everywhere. Like whatever you consume more of, it becomes more of you. So whenever I think like, okay, this way of life that I'm living, this might be better than everyone else's.
Yeah.
I consciously switch over. I consciously see how other people live, and I consciously tell myself that कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. They're also living. You're also living.
Yeah.
So it keeps me in check. So even as I said, Instagram और Twitter पे भी I usually जब एक टाइम पर मुझे लगने लगता है ना कि ये बहुत ज़्यादा वो है, अच्छा है, तो मैं उसको skeptically देखना शुरू कर देता हूँ.
हाँ, that is also.
तुम सारी ये क्या कर रहे हो? कितना करना है? तो वो मेरे अंदर का ऐसे बाहर आ जाता है. तो उससे मुझे इतनी मेहनत करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. और as I said, Instagram तो I think there's nothing serious in there for me.
हाँ.
As a consumer, there's nothing serious in there. बस जाता हूँ, हंसता हूँ, अपलोड करता हूँ, आ जाता हूँ.
That's the way it should
YouTube पे it's kind of that. YouTube पे YouTube पे तो I even consciously see stuff. Now I'm trying to at least consciously देखूँ मैं क्या देख रहा हूँ. मैं तो गाने सुनूँ, मैं तो पॉडकास्ट सुनूँ, बट जो भी है थोड़ा consciously देखूँ, समझूँ. तो it's like that.
Nice.
So yeah, what do you like consume? मतलब like read what, like you read very often? You read very often?
No, I want to is one. I was like, there was a phase where I would read like an hour or so daily in the evening. This is in 2018, say 1.5 years, like almost till Corona, and then I shifted city because of Corona, and then that habit broke. So that was a very golden phase, but I want to regain it again. I'll start with 10 minutes every day on my calendar, a recurring event on my calendar, which should be a good trigger, and then build that habit again. But normally, what type of content I like is business strategy, business case studies, real life stories, not like about people, right? Biographies or autobiographies is one thing that I prefer generally. Other than that, a lot of stuff around innovation, productivity is something that I like a lot. Be it any kind of innovation, right? And I'm in general a curious person. I you can talk to me about pretty much any subject, and I'll talk to you. Even religion, even spirituality, if you want to talk about, I'm happy to talk about it, because I think and ever since childhood, this is not something that I've learned, is there is a learning in everything. So even when I'm meeting you, my brain is thinking, what can I learn from this guy, right? And as we talk this and this, I'll pick up a few things automatically. My brain, like ever since childhood, it works like that. Whenever I meet someone, I find the positives in them, absorb the positives, and just block the negatives.
I think it's more about observation. It's more about seeing the person, how the person carries himself, how the person does anything in that matter. And then you like, मतलब वो एक observation का एक block है. Then you go someplace else, वो एक और observation का block. And then it's like it gets compounded to thinking का block बड़ा सा, जो कि which forms a model in your head.
Yeah.
I think on this note we wrap this up. It was great.
Yep.
मुझे तो काफी. I hope you liked it a lot as well.
Yes, definitely.
So we'll see you guys. I'll put all the links that you should follow below. Okay, on this note we'll see you. Great.
Bye.